Alright, wow, it's been a while since I've been able to do a weekly update from this chair. And the reason why is because this chair is upstairs. And most of my weekly updates had been in my hospital bed or on my couch downstairs. So that's a little bit of a clue of how I'm doing. This is my weekly update for, I believe it'll be July 2nd, 2025. You might hear me pause or wheeze still, so some of it I might edit out and some of it I might not. I just woke up, it's early in the morning, so I think my lungs are still getting adjusted to the day. So this is going to be a two-part update. The first part, just in general, how I'm doing this week. And then I wrote an essay, so you can either hang around for that or not, and that's okay. So in general, ever since getting back from the hospital, I feel the best that I've felt in weeks, maybe even a month or two. So that's awesome. What I'm kind of doing is I'm superimposing being at home and remembering what it was like to be at the hospital. So one of the things that I do is I still have my little notebook. On one side I have a schedule of everything I need to do that day and really sticking to that schedule. In addition, I'm really trying to stick to a pretty strict diet of more like soft foods, healthy foods, applesauce, oatmeal, chicken soup. Also, I kind of forgot about it until my family and I went out to eat yesterday, but pickles, adding a little bit of fermented food to my diet because I think that will help. And then on the other side, I keep track of, so this side is schedule, and then this side is, I call it other specifics. Maybe how often I sleep, what I eat that day, if I take any other additional meds like the morphine. So I really track everything through my notebook, through a schedule, as well as any other notes. And it seems that following that routine pretty strictly is helping quite a bit. I'm still pretty independent for the most part. I have been getting up and walking around more. That means that my rib muscles and some of my core muscles are actually pretty sore because I haven't used them in a while. But I've also found that my back hurts a lot less because I've also been getting around and walking around more. Now, what that means is just instead of relying on people to get me stuff all the time, if I can, I will go make my own oatmeal. I will go get all my own things so that I'm up and about more than just sitting around. It's still difficult to get up the stairs. If you hear me, I huff and puff quite a bit. And it takes me a few minutes to regain my breath. And even now you can hear as I talk, there's a lot of stuff going on in my left lung, so that's kind of what you're hearing. Also in the hospital, the CT did show that, the cancer is not getting better. It's, progressing. But there's a really big difference between 2 weeks ago and today. And in fact, I wrote an essay about it, and that's the part that I would like to read next. So again, I'll be reading from a paper. It's about 3 pages long, so just hold on there. It's called Waiting to Die versus Living Until Death. And I wrote this on June 25th, 2025. As you may or may not know, 2 weeks ago I was in the hospital because my symptoms got so bad that hospice couldn't fully help. I'm grateful for that. Even while on hospice, I can still get the help I need. When I came back home, I had a really bad 24 to 48 window of transition. My body went from getting medicines through an IV and receiving medical support to receiving medical support mostly through pills and some liquid form. Yet slowly, my body got used to my home routine, and with some suggested modifications from the hospital, I began to feel the best I have in weeks, if not months. Don't get me wrong, the cancer is still in my body, and my high now would have been quite a low just a year ago. But today, I feel like I'm living rather than dying. These past few months have been like I've forgotten what's really important to me, the power of the mind. From about 2018 on, I spent a lot of time focusing on being the gatekeeper of my mind and trusting the power of my own body to tell me what is and what is not good for it. But when I was told that my cancer came back in 2020 and 2022, I became obsessed with researching how the body dies, what near-death experiences were, as well as what people with cancer look like during various stages. This is because I thought these pieces of information offered a lot of clues of what to expect for myself down the road. I believe in being proactive rather than retroactive, and that has always served me well. And for the most part, it did in the cancer process as well. But now, I'm wondering if it didn't hurt me. In diving deep into these other aspects of death, I think I lost a lot of that part of me that was focused on living. I started hearing what the cancer and hospice journey typically looks like, and I began to follow that path. I began to wait to die rather than live until death. I even had these expectations in my mind of when I wanted or should die, according to some imaginary timelines that just made sense at the time in my mind, emotionally and or financially for our family. But when those timelines came and went, and I wasn't as close to death as I thought I would be, and trust me, there were 2 nights where I admittedly prayed to God to release my soul because of how much pain I was in, I was forced to begin to think differently. What if I didn't die when I thought I was going to? Now what? The answers began to come slowly June 18, 2025, when I went into the hospital. Now don't get me wrong, those first 24 to 48 hours were not fun either. It took a while for things to happen. First, I had a CAT scan that let me know that the cancer was spreading, not getting better. Next, I learned I had an infection that needed to be treated, colitis, another fun new symptom. So I was given a few medication changes that did seem to help aid in my digestion. Finally, I've been learning that laying in hospital beds is actually causing me such back pain that I cry out for morphine. Whereas if I just change chairs, positions, and get up and try to walk even just as little as I can, my back seems to have little to no problems. I still use morphine, but at a much lower dosage and way less often. Generally about 2 to 3 times per day at about 0.5 to 0.75 milliliters, which is that much in a very small tube. Once the new information was learned at the hospital, I was able to start to get my symptoms under control, and I was able to go back home. This was another awful 24 to 48 hour transition from having all my medications received directly from my IV system and being a lot more meds that they gave me in the hospital than I was used to being on at home. Let's just say I had one of the longest nights of my life of pain and nausea that I've ever had. Yet, as the 48-hour window began to dawn, my system was finally settling down, and miraculously, a turn happened. I began to feel better than I had for weeks or months. It was around this time a friend of mine really planted a seed in my mind. You were waiting to die. Ever since November, hearing a doctor say I should not go back to work and that I'd only have 6 months to live, my mind began focusing on that, dying. So I began down that road. I made charts that I shared on social media of what someone can and can't do when they have 6 months to live, 3 months to live, 1 month, and weeks, and where I was on those charts. But at month 7, when I should be dead, the charts kind of become useless, partly because with my cancer, there generally tends to be some step downs and then some plateaus. And those can't necessarily be fit into a nice, neat box. And while I still have terminal cancer, rather than focusing on dying, I'm going to live until death, something I had stopped doing in the past 7 months. Now, this is easy to do when I feel my best, which comparatively speaking to a year ago is still a low. But any amount of feeling well is going to increase hope and happiness. I know I fought at times a lot of people's prayers that I would get better, and technically I won't. And maybe getting better means different things at different times. But those of you who pray and send me positive energy my way have also led me to believe in the collective power of prayer and well wishes now that I'm sitting on the other side of a few bad weekends and months. I can see they work, so thank you. And remember, it's okay for you to have bad days, months and years even. But my prayer for you is that you have others to hold on to hope for you until you can see it again for yourself. And whether you're in a not so fun time in your life or in a wonderful time in your life, try to choose to live. What does it mean to live, you ask? Be present in each moment. Try to find even the smallest joys or lessons in them, especially around the people that you love and care about. Say yes to things you really want to do, and be brave enough to say no to the things you don't. But don't close yourself off so much that you're not willing to try a few new things. Don't wait for things to happen. Make them happen. Nothing builds itself. It takes the hands and feet of someone with a dream or desire to make things happen. So find a dream or desire and begin to build your life around it. Laugh a lot. Cry when you need to. Listen to others, but more importantly, listen to yourself. You can try out other people's suggestions and weigh them against your own judgment of those experiences. And if that judgment is yes, I liked it, then do it again. And if the answer is hell no, or it hurts you, let it go and try something else. Build strong relationships. Go out, meet people. If you keep trying to meet people the same way and it's not working, you gotta try something else. There's an app called Meetup. It's not a dating service. It's a People like to do things and they like try doing them together app. Or find community events that you like and attend them. Local libraries often have event calendars. So do like town newsletters. Or Google what to do in your own town or towns near you. Hit the events page on Facebook or other social media apps. Go out and do your own shopping. Take a hike or play some ball at your local park. But try something. Try something that needs to be dry cleaned. So you have to keep going to the same place over and over again. Visit the local gym. Accept a friend's invitation to be a +1 to a wedding, a barbecue, or a party. The point is, outside is where people are. Not everything has to be a dating app. Continue to discover who you are. Do a little subconscious cleaning once in a while. Work on getting past fears and guilt and shame and jealousy so that you have more room in your life for courage, acceptance, compassion, etc. Discover who you are willing to make room for others in your life, as well as you will also start discovering who you may or may not be more comfortable and compatible with. Accept that nothing is perfect. Life is hard. I'm in hospice, and I wear things? I guess so. I do things that are painful. Maybe I have to wear things like diapers that are uncomfortable and embarrassing. But I also try to find humor and practical tools like building up mental strength to help outweigh all the other things. At the end of the day, there's always something and or someone to be thankful for. Tell the universe or God before bed each night. And if you do, you just might find that you're really beginning to live, just as I hope I continue to do for a while. All right, so that was my weekly update and my tips for you. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next week. All right, if you would like a copy of this essay, I will have this in the description in YouTube. So you could just click this link, Jennifer Engel 8 website, and you can go to free resources. And here it gives waiting to die versus living until death. And then all you have to do is click to download the rest. And you can have access to this essay if you'd like. In addition, you could also go to highestpossibilitystates.com for a lot more free additional resources. This is where you can find links to the books that I've written, about me, free books or free resources. So it'll have the appendices for highest possibility states. It also has here for a free PDF of a drill down and drill up technique of kind of how to get out of PTSD, what I call pilot light triggers. You can also download a care plan, steps to take when a loved one dies, what to do when lines of communication are closed, a script for healing, and that's about it. Thank you.